lot of time. I'm hoping you get this message. But they're called the British Protection Service. They're after me and Will for crimes against the state. Listen, I don't have a lot of time. He said... For the last fucking time, I don't know where the stone is.
Where is the dream stone?
If I knew that, do you think I'd still be sat here? And do you think I would tell a wig-wearing cockwomble like you? No.
I will ask again. Where is the dream stone?
I'll start singing. I mean it.
Where is the dream stone?
Tongues of fire on Idris flaring. No.
Do you like British things? Washing machines, bendy bananas, sock puppets. Yes, you. Join the British Protection Service today, protecting you from crimes against the state.
I've just seen a thing on the internet, right? Sort of put a t-shirt on while doing a handstand thing. We've not had a good shirtless scene in a while, have we? Right, everyone I saw doing this was using a wall, so I think that's cheating. Let's try it without the wall.
Where is the dreamstone?
Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early light, but so proudly there, 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 da, 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 da. Alright, so I've had this idea, right? See this? This thing here, right? That is basically just my paint palette for Mr. Stark here. But I've had a bizarre idea. I'm going to put that on Instagram, right? And pass it off as modern art. And see what the reaction is, right? I'm going to pretend that I did it on purpose. That I deliberately made this as modern art. Just to see what the reaction is. Most people will probably see right through it. But I'm hoping for at least one person who goes, oh yeah, I see what you're getting at now. It's like all these explosions and blood splatters and what have you. Yeah, I can see what you're going for with that. I'm really hoping somebody takes the bait. So, I've pretty much finished recording my family history now, finished finding out who my ancestors were. The good, the bad, the kings, the vagabonds, the shotgun-toting pub landlords who were staring in bemusement at Lewis Carroll's dad floating down the Mersey, preaching about sin. That was a weird one. So the next thing to do is to expand that, to find out more about them, more about their lives, their families, where they were, what they were doing. So I thought I would start with the most intriguing of my ancestors, Thomas from the Isle of Man. I want to find out, like, when he first left the Isle of Man. I want to find out sort of more about his journey, to use a very pretentious phrase. So the first thing I'm going to do is to log everywhere he was throughout his life, and then from there sort of start to build up a kind of picture, if you will. I'm starting to question my own research, actually. I thought he was living in Ardwick in 1861, right? But I know at some point he got married in the 1860s, right before 1866, to a woman called Eliza or Elizabeth. The only record of a marriage I can find is a Thomas who was living in Ballasalla, Isle of Man, rank or profession, sailor, widower, which conflicts with the guy living in Ardwick a month before, who was a mechanical fitter and single. So one of those is not my ancestor, I don't think. Difficult, very difficult. Gonna have to work this one out. Right, okay, I'm getting the dates wrong. the marriage I was looking at was 1861, and he got married in 1864, according to my notes. So let's see if we can't really find that marriage again. Okay, I can't seem to find his first marriage record, which is weird. Doesn't appear to exist. The marriage record has gone from Family Search. Okay. Might take me a while to find it again. All the marriages I can find, that's not him. I don't know where I got 1864 from originally, but can't find that now. I know that at some point before 1866 he did marry someone called Eliza or Elizabeth. Because I know that she died in 1866. When did they get married though? That's... Maybe I can trace her death backwards. I'm looking for the burial rite. I didn't imagine this, right? The burial record seems to have gone. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong parish. I don't know. Is there some conspiracy going on? Did none of this ever happen? Did I just imagine finding this stuff? I can't even find her death record. Which definitely existed. Right. Okay, found it. Found the death. Born 1826, died 1866. Right. Brilliant. We've got that. Okay, so why is that not on the burial records for... What? There's something very odd going on with these family search websites. They don't all seem to have the rights information. For here am I sitting in my tin can, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do.
Remove his blindfold.
Oh, fuck. She has a death record, but she doesn't seem to have a burial record. There's something strange going on here. Something underhand. Because there's this weird thing with... Right. 1881, right? He's apparently married to someone called Elizabeth, who was his first wife. But his first wife died in 1866. What is going on? I'm just so confused right now. So... What? I'm gonna give that up as a dead loss. I cannot find, for the life of me, where he got married, or when, for the first time. So I'm going to write that off, and that takes 1861 out as well, because I can't actually prove now that he was single in 1861. Yeah. So basically we've now got a 20-year gap again. This man does not want to be found. Right, so we've got a little bit of a gap in 1861, but after a few hours I've got all the information collated, gathered into a nice little timeline, ready for transferring onto the computer into a little table sort of thing. So that's the next job, which I'm going to do after I've had a walk. I've just realised something. Second wife. Presumably he met her in Malou, where he was living with her in 1871, shacked up together, south of the island, where he was born, sort of south east of the island. He was born in the southwest, but they're fairly close together. Yet his third wife, Sarah Jane, he's been living with his second wife in England for nearly 20 years. So how does he end up going back to the Isle of Man, to the north of the island, completely different to his usual stomping ground, 6 months after his second wife has died, and picking up another wife? Is he prowling the island for a wife? Was my twice great-grandfather a predator? Was he a predatory sugar daddy? This is very strange. His third wife, actually, thinking about it, she's looking after her stepson, because she's a widow as well, right? She's been looking after her stepson for about 6 years by this point. So she's a young-ish woman. Not very old, only about 40. And she's on a strange island looking after a kid that isn't even hers. And suddenly, in 1897, there's another widower comes along. She meets another man. He's freshly widowed. I'm wondering if he didn't, offer to help her out or something. Offer to help her look after the kid. Maybe she was, struggling, and he was, through Christian charity, said, "I will help you, madam." Was he actually Jean Valjean from Les Miserables? Was he an escaped convict? He did lie about his age several times, so maybe that's where he really was in the 1860s. Hey, 1851, working in a bakery. He steals a loaf of bread, goes to prison, escapes, gets pursued throughout the northwest of England by some random zealot police officer. Was he actually Jean Valjean? We're going into ludicrous fantasies here. Nobody noticed the abstract art thing, so now we're trying round 2. Tell me when you spot it. So up here, we've got Margaret Thatcher hiding behind the chimney. Jeremy Corbyn is in this window here. Up here on the chimney, we've got Tom Cruise, running as usual. And this gentleman down here, that just so happens to be, if it ever focuses, Nicolas Cage. Oh yeah, and Brian Blessed's hiding in that window as well, of course. See how long it takes people to notice. I'm just working on some late night dark legend, and I've reached one of the pivotal character moments, and it is fucking powerful. Wow. It's just bringing 5 books of development together at this point. It's something so powerful about seeing it all just in a couple of pages just come together like that. Wow. It's a real fucking punch to the stomach, that one. And of course, I'm not going to spoil it. You'll have to wait for the book for that one. When I was doing that family history stuff the other day, right, I came across this painting. And it turned out to be my twice great-grandfather's farmhouse. The place where he was born, where he grew up. So, it was only £1, so I bought it. Had a cool little painting. Quite nice to find, a painting of the place where one of your ancestors grew up, so I'm going to get a frame for that now, I think. I'm also going to get some new underwear, because mine is around my knees, the elastic has gone. That's a very pretty image, James. Yeah.
Downing Street today have denied allegations that the Prime Minister is a manky old sock puppet. A spokesman for the Prime Minister, Mr. Corbett Sooty, said the claims were ridiculous. The Sock Puppets Union, meanwhile, have called the claims an offensive disgrace to sock puppets everywhere.
What